This 2010, this election cycle, determines the future and the legacy of the United States of America as a republic, which means a republic goes by the rule of law, our Constitution, for the next 40 or 50 years. We get it wrong here, your children and my children, it's done. They will not have the same freedoms and liberties that we had growing up. They will not have the same opportunities that our fathers and mothers created for us. That's why it's important for each and every one of us to make a stand, so that the production class does not depart this country, so that somehow we can get the message to the entitlement class that don't become a victim. Don't be dependent upon government, because eventually you'll just get enough to live by. And eventually, the entire United States of America look like Detroit, Michigan. And that's not what we want in this great country, in this great land. But there's another suburb of Detroit, Michigan, which if we're not careful, it's going to look like as well. That's Dearborn, Michigan. If we do not understand that we are facing a very vile and vicious enemy that has infiltrated every aspect of our society, in our cultural system, our religious system, our education system, our financial systems. And you got a problem here in Northern Virginia. Okay? All of these imams and these clerics and these 9/11 conspirators, Major Nidal Hassan, all coming out of Northern Virginia. Terrorist training camps, 2 of them in Northern Virginia, 2 of them in my home state of Georgia. 1 up in Islamburg in New York. They're here and they are telling you exactly what they want to do. They want to destroy America and defeat America. And if we don't have leaders over on Capitol Hill that have been on the modern 21st century battlefield, that understand who this enemy is and understands their ideology, as Sun Tzu will say, to know your enemy and to know yourself and to know the terrain and countless amounts of battles, you will always be victorious. We're failing. We refuse to understand who this enemy is. How many people had the opportunity to read the Fort Hood shooting report? It's vanilla. It was shameful. It said nothing about what the true problem was and what really happened at Fort Hood, Texas. A jihadist terrorist attack. And if we continue on with this state of denial, if we continue on what I call this one-way cultural streak of tolerance, it will lead to suicide, because they're not backing down. We are faced with so many problems right now in the United States of America, all because, for whatever reason, we forgot what leadership really looked like. We thought leadership was a pretty guy with a nice smile standing in front of teleprompters giving speeches. And look where that got us right now. We have sat back here in our country. We have allowed people like Nancy Pelosi, Barney Frank, Steny Hoyer to be in charge of the House. We have allowed people like Harry Reid, Charles Schumer, and all of those people to be in charge. But I want to say this. We also have some people on the Republican side that are complicit as well. Because in 1994, with the contract with America, they had a roadmap. 12 years later, they forgot exactly what that roadmap was, and they were booted out. And we as conservatives have to get in there and make them understand that you can't win by being a lesser version of the other side. You got to show a complete contrast to who they are. That's what the American people are looking for. They don't want watered down, lukewarm, moderate, as Mark Levin called it, status and neo-status. They know exactly what they want. They want people that understand limited government, people that understand national security, people that understand liberty, people that understand individual responsibility and accountability. They want leaders. They want people that understand our free market solutions and our traditional values. And that's what we have to stand for. And that's why I think that you all have invited me here into this house, because I'm just an old hard-headed Southern boy. And as I talked to my Air Force fighter pilot here, I wasn't smart enough to fly airplanes, so I had to jump out of them. So I'm always looking for a fight. And there's a fight coming in this country. We have cornered a cat. And last week, after that election, I didn't look at Fox News. I looked at MSNBC. And the message that they were sending out from MSNBC was that we didn't push hard enough. They're not giving it up. Be aware, look for an amnesty bill to come through. We see already Remember when Rahm Emanuel said, never let a good crisis go to waste? 50,000 Haitians coming to the state of Florida. Temporary visas being granted to illegal immigrant Haitians in Florida. Maybe another 50,000 coming. They're going to change the electoral base of this country. Sometime by July or August, there may be a whole bunch of new Americans if they have their way. And if they get registered, that expands the entitlement class, it strengthens the production class, and who do you think they're going to vote in power? This is the ultimate fight. This represents 1774 all over again. And it's very interesting that the first shot was fired up there in Lexington and Concord. The first shot was fired again in the state of Massachusetts. So God bless you all. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate your support.